All right, guys, we are back on YouTube, and this value, value is a big, big piece for me. I coach men, uh, and one of the biggest things I am finding as a flaw within men is that we don't value ourselves. And one of those things, it's it's kind of hard to explain because it's not necessarily super tangible, but we can see it in our lives if we're honest. If you don't value yourself, you're not going to be valued. All right. And you've not reached your pinnacle of value until you value yourself. And so this is an important thing because men, I'm trying to figure out like this direct way of telling you that you fucking treat yourself like shit. Maybe that's just the way to say it. You treat yourself like shit because you don't have value for yourself. You see other men as better than, or you look at certain things that you perform in life as not being exceptionally good, even though it's a huge win. It's a victory. It's gratitude for being able to complete something that whether you're good at it or not, but like you seem to think that you expect other men can do it, so you don't get the ability to value yourself for it because there's an expectation for men. All of these are false pretenses. I'll tell you that right now. Because for everything you think another guy or other guys could do very easily, there is a shit ton of them who can't. And vice versa. For things that you should be doing very easily or think you should be doing very easily, there's plenty of other guys who have a hard time doing it. We, in the entrepreneurial space, people, men and women, come to this conclusion and acceptance and surrender to it when they classify it as zone of genius. Because guess what? That's a more empowering statement. My zone of genius is this. That's not my zone of genius, so I hire it out. But you hire it out to somebody that makes it look like child's play because it is their zone of genius. So then they're like, wow, I can't believe this guy doesn't know how to do this. And then they're like, well, fuck it. I'll get paid for it, right? So they do. So if you can figure out a way that you can start to create more value in your life by one, valuing the things that you do, and then two, by saying that other people are also having a hard time and it's not your zone of genius, it's going to help you. Now, what I want to really take you guys down for this is just kind of like the opening. What I want to take you guys down is you need to begin valuing yourself or others won't value you. Okay? You can't receive what you don't give. And what you don't give right now is yourself, is to yourself. And that's reflected by the relationships you have. That's reflected by the world you live in, the expectations put on you, what you receive from the universe. All of it is attracting certain things in your life that are going to make you happy or unhappy. I don't know which one. You do. Come to that conclusion. Understand that if you don't value yourself, others won't. And just remember that others don't matter. Their value doesn't matter if you don't value yourself, because that's the other struggle that I think a lot of guys have, because I've struggled with that too. I don't know if I've said it on the YouTube or podcast, but there was something a good friend of mine, Elliot Schwartz, told me one time. And he said, if you could just see you the way we see you, right? So we can't understand other people's value for us until we value ourselves, which is frustrating as fuck to people who love us because they just want what's best for us and they see so much potential and strength, but then we can't understand that because we don't value ourselves that way. So put yourself in that position of earning that so that what others say their value for you actually does matter. It actually does hit home. It actually does bring you up, and it does connect with your own validation of value for yourself. All right. Now, expectations, and we talked about this a little bit, is that we expect certain men to do certain things, or all men to be able to do certain things. So then we devalue our accomplishments because of that. Now, expectations are because you see someone's value for you, but you lack that value for yourself, just like we mentioned. If you expect that you're supposed to do something, you don't create any type of accomplishment around it because you think that others expected you to be there too. But what you're doing is you're actually pushing out a perspective. You're projecting a perspective on the external world. And in that, you're not helping yourself to actually create a healthy understanding of who you are and what you're good at and why you're so valuable to this world. And you're going to deteriorate your confidence. You're going to deteriorate your connections with others. You're going to deteriorate your you're going to deteriorate your standing with other people in your life, from the kids to the spouses to the friends to the family, everybody. You're going to deteriorate that position that you hold within the ecosystem. So this is one of the things that we really have to start getting over, really. And so we have to find our way to cultivate that value through experiences and fortitude. This is very big. We need to really cultivate this value and cultivate the accomplishment over the expectation, right? If we believe other people expected us, or we believe other people or expected other people to do the same thing, we're going to devalue the accomplishment. But when we find ways to cultivate value through experience and fortitude, this is saying that we're putting ourselves in areas that are uncomfortable to show us that we have the ability to persevere. Now, if you can do this on a pretty regular basis, and by regular I mean like at least once a month, maybe once a quarter, challenge yourself to do something that's very difficult. Maybe it's learning an instrument. Not kidding you, I've been trying to learn the guitar and I keep putting it up and down and have not committed yet. And it's one of the things I've wanted to do since I was a kid. But I haven't prioritized it and I haven't challenged myself with it consistently, being totally honest with you guys. You can challenge yourself with something like that. And when you do that and you persevere, it allows you to transmit this signal to your brain saying that I am capable. I am capable and that I am valued, and I have value for me. I have value for my tenacity and perseverance to be able to stick through something that's hard and to put myself in a game-changing environment for me, right? When we start to continually raise that bar, the value for us starts to come up, the confidence for ourselves starts to come up, and then also we start to not necessarily expect, but feel the accomplishments within our lives. It's like, man, that was pretty cool. That was really cool. How many people do that? Not many, probably, right? Like, you can put yourself in a lot of positions to do this. Things, I think I've mentioned this before, but obstacle course racing are really good ones. Tough Mudder's got some very extensive ones that are difficult, really difficult. You can do things like Everesting. You can do things like, picking up an instrument, speaking a new language. Challenge yourself with that stuff. Show your mind and everybody around you that perseverance is one of your tools, and allow yourself to be seen as a high value man, where you're sitting there saying, stealing that line from Alejandro, Aaron Alejandro, good friend of mine. But anyways, you are a high value man, but you got to see yourself that way first. Okay. And then the last thing that I want to mention is that if you can't value others, you can't value yourself. So how much value do you give others? Do you disassociate from them because you believe they don't have value? Do you automatically go into a conversation or into a connection thinking of what that person brings and give them an associated value based on that? Like, what is your value system for people? And are you even valuing them for just being good people in your life? Being supporting actors, being friends, family, loved ones, people who just want to see the best for you, people who need you and want to lean on you? Like, is that the thing that you are for them? Like, if you do not start valuing other people other than what they can bring to your life, like, oh, this person's got connections, they can get me connected with these high level people, or they can get me connected. I can say I know them and they know a lot of multi-million-dollar business owners and I'll sound really cool. And it's like all this bullshit of what they can bring to your life. But in reality, it's like, no, do I start valuing people for being people? Do I start valuing people for the things that they give me that actually help me in who I am trying to show up as, who I want to be, and what life is going to be for me, right? And so if you can go ahead and actually start valuing people, you're going to start finding more value for yourself. You're going to start really identifying that value of what it means to have a higher caliber man living inside of you, okay? That is where we can start to find this accomplishment. And that, at the end, guys, is what we're trying to do. So you need to begin valuing yourself. Your expectations of what you're supposed to do versus an accomplishment need to be evaluated. You need to find a way to cultivate this experience, or cultivate value through experience and fortitude. And you need to start valuing others in your life so you can start valuing yourself. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I'll see y'all next week.